The Women's Business Center. Your first step to success.
The Edge is a show to encourage you to go for it. We have these amazing women who give up their time to come over here and share their story with you, because the one thing that is for sure is that making it, reaching the success that you dream of, it's hard work and it doesn't happen overnight. And so the exciting thing is that our two Laras here are going to share their story, encourage you to make your dreams come true. My name is Giselle Mascarenhas-Villarreal, and I am one of the sponsors with Indigo PR firm. Go ahead.
My name is Charo Mann. I'm the Executive Director for the Women Business Center, an organization that assists entrepreneurs achieve their dreams.
My name is Hammond, and I am with Atlas Electrical Air Conditioning and Refrigeration Services, and I am a sponsor of The Edge.
My name is Laura Lara. I am president or principal of the Warren Group Architects here in McAllen, Texas, and in Austin.
Hello, my name is Laura Lara, and I'm a senior project manager for the University of Texas Office of Facilities Planning and Construction.
Thank you both for being here. We're super excited. The Edge does this through the Women's Business Center, because the Women's Business Center has the workshops, the tools to give anyone out there who doesn't even know how to maybe start their business plan, or these ideas in their head, how to get it on paper. Charo is amazing at doing that, and so we love doing this for the Women's Business Center and for you, everyone out there watching us. So let's get started. When was that moment, being a woman and a successful woman in your career, when was that moment that you knew this is what you wanted to do?
Well, similar to Laura's story, growing up as a little girl, my father passed away at a very young age and left my mother as a single parent, and we were 6 at home, and so she struggled quite a bit to raise us on her own and never remarried. I guess that taught me that at some point I needed to be independent and I needed to take care of myself. So I had this drive in me that I was going to do something. What that wasn't sure, but in the summers, in order to help support the family, since my family members were carpenters, painters, they did no work, I said, I asked my uncles, can I come work with you in the summer? And so they did residential construction. And I, carried, the wood, so they could frame, I painted, I did all that with my uncles, but I figured, I just don't want to do this. Who comes up with the ideas of these homes? And they were custom homes, and they were beautiful homes. And I asked my uncle, is there somebody that thinks of this? And then I didn't know what an architect was. And he introduced me to an architect, the architect who was designing these homes. At that point in time, I was around 14, 15 years old. I was doing fairly well in school, and I figured that since I love art, I love mathematics and science, that I'd go to college and become an architect. My counselors at the time said, you don't have any training, we don't offer any drafting here, so I think you're going to fail at that when you go to college. And I said, well, I don't think I will, this is what I want to do. And so he said, well, just, you're not listening to my guidance, so I think you need to, make another choice. Well, at the same time as I approached my senior year in high school, I decided to apply to several colleges, architectural schools, and I decided on the University of Texas. And the one reason behind that was I also love music, so I was in band, and I wanted to be in the Longhorn band. Well, the counselor again says, that's a very tough school to get into. They only accept about 80 applicants per year, and I've mentioned this before, you don't have any training, you're not going to make it. So I think that the more and more that I kept hearing, you can't and you won't, that just, was another challenge for me to say, yes, I can. Never thinking about, the women that I was entering a field that was dominated by male, never thinking of any of the obstacles that I would face, but I was accepted to the School of Architecture. Never had used any type of drafting tools, anything. So at my first year in architecture school, it was a challenge because many of the students that came into the program were already advanced. They had taken that, the training, the technical drafting being in a man's field, in a male-dominated field, I did work for many firms, right out of school, but I found that that's not where I wanted to stop. Because at that time, yes, I was great at working in design in a firm and working with people and just working in different areas of architecture. But one of the things that they didn't let me do was get into the construction area. And I wanted to manage construction. And the reason I did that again was because it was, once we completed a design and it went into construction, they never let the women handle and oversee the construction. And again, because you were going to work with contractors and subcontractors, and all they were all male. So
How
how
many women were with you? Sorry.
with me?
Not that time.
Not many. Because at that time, it was early 80s, and so it was still very male-dominated. Even in architecture school, I think there was probably out of, like say you had a class of 30, there might have been 2 per class. Yeah.
Wow.
And
And so they literally, would you ask to go and manage that construction?
yes, I did many times. But they said, oh no, you got your niche, you're great at design, we want to keep you with the design team.
Stay in the office.
Stay in the office. But I said, I want to see it through, I'm putting these, creating these buildings and creating the details behind it. So I actually want to see how it comes together out in the field. And they kept saying no.
So how did you make it happen?
After spending many years with design firms, and I did work, in several locations throughout the nation, because again, that was another obstacle for us to, gain another position in an architectural firm. We pretty much had to find another position in another firm, because they would keep you in that little area. They wouldn't allow you to move up the chain. So, not only did you not have any longevity at a firm, you just had to keep going. Find your specialty, develop your specialty. So at some point in time, I decided that, to find that niche where I wanted to at least attempt to work was in project management. So I found my position with the city of San Antonio.
Wow.
And in the city of San Antonio, they were building it was the convention center expansion project. And luckily, I did acquire that position. It was my first year. And typically for project managers, you have to have up to 10 years of experience behind you. But I was given this opportunity. And God has mentioned time and time again, with a lot of hard work and commitment, people will see that you have that capability. And so since that time and working in that field, I was able to take other steps in developing my skills in management. But I can't tell you that, that every day is a wonderful day of learning. It's been very difficult to develop the trust for many of the men that I work with because I am in charge of the contracts, construction contracts, but making the decisions that have to be made in order to keep our projects moving on a day-to-day basis, because we have a lot of responsibility in managing a large budget and also the schedules, because our clients are demanding and they need to have their buildings built on time and on budget. But there's many, many people that it takes to build a project, and as architects and throughout our professional development, we learn how to be those leaders because we are problem solvers on a day-to-day basis, and we do have to communicate and have good communication skills. But the challenges are always there on a day-to-day basis, because there are many men that will come up to you and they can't see a woman in that position, a female.
It's still happening today.
It's still happening today. And you'll be challenged. And so you have to know your